I'm going to be all over the place. I'm just warning you now. It's been a week, y'all. And not in a good way. Although there were a couple of highlights, but it was not good. Mentally, I was not in a good place this weekend at all. I think, well, there were many factors that had a hand in it. The first was a heat wave. We are having a heat wave. It's cooled off quite a bit. But here in California, I'm in Northern California to be exact, but it's been all over. We've been having a heat wave. Now, the not so helpful people that live in the hot areas of the country like to say, oh, you poor thing in California, you're having a heat wave. Did it get above 70 degrees? And that's not helpful. Because, see, I used to live in Arizona, and so I know for a fact that y'all got air conditioning. Don't you? Yeah, okay. So shut up, because we don't. And when it gets to be 105, which it was at my house this week, it's unbearable. There's nothing we can do. There's literally nothing we can do but lay naked in front of a fan. That's it. So go sit in your air-conditioned house and don't talk to me. That's how I felt when all my friends from Arizona and Las Vegas were oh so helpful in saying things like that to me this week. Go lay in your pool. Okay, now that that's off my chest, yes, it was unbearably hot this week. And this weekend we went to my father-in-law's because he lives a few towns over, and it's usually about 10 to 15 degrees cooler over there. And it was, and his house stays nice and cool. He doesn't have air conditioning either, but it stays, for whatever reason, it just stays nice and cool. So we went there on Sunday night. So I think part of that was I didn't really have any time to myself this weekend, part of the bad mental situation. So we went over to my father-in-law's Sunday night and stayed most of the day on Monday, and we came home, and it was 108, I think. The temp gauge on the van shows what it is outside. It was like 108, and like we got out, we got all the like our backpacks and stuff. We let the dogs out, and Shiloh walked over to the concrete, and she just froze. It was so hot, it was burning her little feet. Rob scooped her up, and we brought the dogs. We had to carry them in. It was horrible. And then we don't even have air conditioning at my new work, so that was fun too. Although it is considerably cooler where I work. It's about 20 degrees cooler typically, but it's still got up to like, I don't know, 85, 90 in the office place. So it was like, it was a lot. And we actually went home a couple of days early because it was just too hot. But then I had to come home, and it was even hotter at home. So I just felt overwhelmed with the heat, and that's never a good thing for me mentally, because it's just you're exhausted for no reason, and you're laying there and you're just sweating, and it's gross and it's off-putting, and there's like no joy. There's nothing because you don't want to move. So there was that. And then yes, got my period. So that was even funner to do in all that heat. Good times. So already hormonally I was not in a good place. And then the heat. And it was a lot. There was some stress going on at work, and yeah. I'll talk about one incident in a little bit, but it was just a lot. This past week was a lot, and I think my breaking point was Thursday, I sent my husband an email and I was just like, just so you know, I'm not in a good place mentally. And so that's what it was. So, okay. It was Wednesday. I got a phone call for a coworker. So I picked up the phone. Thank you for calling Place of Business. How can I help you? And the lady said, can I speak to so-and-so? And I said, oh, I'm sorry, he's not here. May I take a message? And she said, oh, well, this is blah, blah. And I'm a nurse for his sister and I need to reach him. And then I could hear like all the machines in the background and I realized she was in a hospital. And instantly I flashed back to the last time I talked to my mom before she died. So I took the message and my two coworkers were in my office. We were all chatting at the time that it happened. And all of a sudden I hung up the phone and I burst into tears and they're like, and I'm like, I explained what the call was and she's like, oh, I don't think he talks to his sister. This is, so obviously I don't know him that well. Something was going on with his family and it sounds like they're estranged. But they're looking at me like, and so I said, sorry, that just really reminded me of the last time I talked to my mom. And they know the situation. So they were like, do you want us to leave you alone? Do you want? I'm like, yeah, please go. And so then I cried for the rest of the day. Yeah, it just was not good. And I thought I was doing really well because the 2-year anniversary of her death was last month. It was the end of last month. And I thought, obviously, I was doing okay because it passed. Like, I was sad. But I was like, okay, so I'm getting better. This is, the grief is hard. I don't think that that's an earth-shattering revelation. But I thought it was finally, getting better because I didn't have a complete mental breakdown at the anniversary of her death. And obviously, I wasn't in as good a place as I thought. And I know that's normal. I hate it. And I was really hoping to be getting over it faster than I am. So that set a tone. So anyway, on Thursday, I wasn't getting any better, and I emailed my husband, and I was like, I said, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want you to fix me, because guys are fixers, and if you tell them you're upset, they're like, well, what can I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Let's talk about this. Let's go over the options. What can we do? No, I don't want you to fix me. I just want you to know that this is happening. And so he was like, take all the time and space you need. I'm here if you need me, Yeah, so that Thursday and Friday, I was just not in a good place. Saturday, which was yesterday, I started to feel like I was coming out of it. The heat started to break, and my period ended. And I took myself shopping. I decided that retail therapy was definitely in order. So I've been meaning to go to Ross and Target and get some new clothes because I'm shrinking. Yay. So all of my clothes are starting to get big again and I need more clothes for work. I went shopping and that was nice, but I'm still not 100%. I just feel like I think it's time to do my weekend away. I feel like I haven't had any time to myself just to not do anything. And normally twice a year before COVID, I've explained this before COVID, I took 2 weekends out of the year and I took a self-care vacation. I just get a hotel room around here and take the weekend and just not do anything just that I didn't want to do. Not talk to anybody, not go anywhere. Just if I just wanted to lay in bed and read a book all day, that's what I do. Order Chinese food to be delivered, eat it in bed in my pajamas, that's what I do. And it really helps recharge my batteries. And I haven't had that in like 3 years. So I think it's time. However, my wallet does not think it's time, especially since I just spent all that money yesterday at the store. But you see, I got to shop in the normal size section of the store yesterday for the first time in 25 years. I wasn't in the plus size section. So I may have gone a little overboard and bought a lot of stuff. But I needed it. And I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm going to regret it when I can't have my weekend away. But for now, I'm kind of about it. So this week was rough. But I did weigh in. I weighed in yesterday, so last week I weighed in at 194.2. This week I weighed in at 193.6. So I lost another half a pound. And given how my week went and how I ate my weight in Mexican food this past weekend, I'm okay with it. I need to come to terms with the fact that my weight loss is slowing down, and that's gonna happen. And I can either cut my calories or I can just keep going the way I'm going and just have a slower weight loss. And that's something I need to decide. But for now, I'm gonna take the slower weight loss. Increasing my exercise isn't an option. I already do an hour a day and I don't have time for anything else. So it is what it is. So for now, a half a pound is still a half a pound. And as depressing as it is to think that's only 2 pounds a month, it's still a loss. And right now I'm just trying to just get through life. So I'll take what I can get. And there was a lot of ice cream for dinner. I tried to stay mostly within my calories, and I obviously did okay because I lost a half a pound. But when it's 1,000 degrees, there was at least 2 or 3 nights that I ate cereal and then had ice cream for dinner because it was just so effing hot that I couldn't function. So all I could manage was to pour a bowl of cereal, and then even that I was hot after sitting up and eating that, so I got ice cream. And I was okay with it because whatever was getting me through this past week was what I was going to do. So, yeah. Hopefully this week will be better. It's supposed to cool down. Today was muggy as hell. I just did the treadmill this morning. And when I was done, I did an hour and a half. On the weekends, I try to do more cardio so I can eat more because I need some treats in my life. After I just said that I ate ice cream for dinner, just ignore that part. Anyway, I did an hour and a half on the treadmill, and by the time I was done, I was literally my clothes were completely drenched, completely soaked from, there was not one dry piece of fabric on me. And so, when I tell you I wrung out my sports bra and it was probably like this amount of liquid in it, no joke. It grossed me out, and it's my own sweat. So, yeah. So, hopefully this week will be cooler, but I'll believe it when I see it. Because today was supposed to be only 80 something. And it might be, but now, of course, now that it's muggy, it feels like way hotter. All right, this video is depressing. Sorry, guys. But I did lose a half pound. I'm just going to keep trudging through. Maybe think about cutting my calories again. I don't know. Yeah, the thought of it just being 2 pounds a month is just really depressing. But the thought of cutting my calories back might be the worst thing for me mentally right now, so right now, I'm just gonna keep it the status quo and see what I can do. I mean, and honestly, last week, I didn't try that hard. I tried, but I didn't try that hard. So maybe I just need to rein it in a little bit and actually stay with the calories that I have allotted myself instead of going a little bit of this here, a little bit of that there. I know that that is a slippery slope, obviously, because just recently I tightened it up and I was losing like 2 pounds a week. So things to ponder. All right, so I'm going to shut this depressing video down. If you enjoyed any part of it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.